contingents from 71 Commonwealth countries. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for the participants.
Some 4,000 athletes, a little over 4,000 taking part in these games in 17 disciplines, 260 sporting events. There are 71 nations taking part. Biggest contingent we'll see will be from India. They'll be the last to come in with more than 400 competitors.
Over the last year or two, Hugh, there's been one or two stories about countries wanting to not take part, and you know the people who really most want to take part in this are the athletes themselves. We won't see many swimmers. They start tomorrow morning, and most countries say, okay, if you're competing in the first few days, we don't expect you to take part, but it's up to you after that. So I think we will see probably around about 75% of them hopefully here tonight taking part in what is always a memorable occasion. You sometimes, you go through your career, and if you miss this out, you do it with regret. And it's always a memorable day. For some people, this will be the only championships like this in their career they come to.
Leading the way, Australia, of course the hosts in 2006. Sharelle McMahon, the netball star, leading the way. Australia, of course, as Sue was mentioning earlier, have a stunning record of achievement at the Commonwealth Games. They won a record 221 medals in Melbourne.
Well, they've brought a very strong swimming team. There's not many of them going to be out there. As I've said, they'll be competing starting tomorrow morning in the pool. Very strong athletics team as well. In fact, most of them were still in the northeast of England until recently. They flew out from Newcastle, which is Newcastle in the northeast of England. They've been competing there. The likes of Steve Hooker, their Olympic pole vault champion, and Sally Pearson. She'll be looking for gold in the 100 hurdles. Australia should do well in track and field. As ever with the Aussies, they don't exactly march in unison. They come out, enjoy themselves, they're allowed to have a free range, and they're wearing 3 or 4 different colours there.
But given their record in the game, Steve, they're allowed to have a good time. I've been trotting up the medals, 1,894 medals in the history of the games, which is the best performance of all, easily.
And Steve Hooker, and you saw him in the yellow shirt and the tie with the, well, in my days you might have called that a perm, but that's the way his hair is. He has been in the best of form this year, the Olympic pole vault champion, and, but I'm pretty sure that he'll be the favourite for the gold in the pole vault.
Following Australia, Anguilla, British Overseas Territory in the Caribbean, population of just 15,000, and they're led by the cyclist Ronnie Bryan. They first competed in the Commonwealth Games as recently as 1998.
Each of the women, you'll notice, who are carrying the names of the countries are wearing traditional Indian dress. The first one was in a sari and the second one is in a Kashmiri sarwani.
And now, our guests from the Caribbean, Antigua and Barbuda.
And many of these countries, such as Antigua and Anguilla, we just saw before, who've never won medals at the Commonwealth Games, would have a real opportunity here because of, in particular in some of the sports, and I think track and field very much for the Caribbean nations, huge opportunities. James Grayman, you can see there, will be taking part, and they certainly will be hoping they can pick up a couple of medals. I'm not sure he will in the high jump. He's the national record holder, but he's got a chance.
कृपया स्वागत करें हमारे अगले दल बहामास का।
In come the Bahamas. They gained independence from Britain back in 1973. They're very strong in track and field. And, I think, Steve, they're being led in by the boxer Valentino Knowles.
They are. He's already tasted success at the Commonwealth Games. They have a separate boxing championships actually for the Commonwealth. He took a silver medal there, but not in the games themselves. They'll be looking to do well in the athletics once more. Christine Amateur in the 400 and Demetrius Pinder, a new name. We talked about new names coming to the fore, and He's an improving athlete in the men's 400 as well.
Please welcome the People's Republic of Bangladesh.
Here we have Bangladesh, one of India's neighbours, of course, and one of the more newer entrants to the Commonwealth Games. They first took part in 1990. And their flag bearer is their shooter, Mohammad Asif Hussain Khan.
Well, he won a gold medal in Manchester, was just 15 years of age at the time. He doesn't look much older now.
No, he doesn't.
Relations between India and Bangladesh have always more or less been good. Up and down, but pretty much good. Since India helped Bangladesh to gain independence back in 1971 from Pakistan.
देवी और सज्जनों, कृपया स्वागत करें बारबेडोस का।
The very tall figure of Laurel Brown as the netball player, who's the flag bearer for Barbados.
Of course, netball not in the Olympic Games. This is a massive championships for netballers around the world, and it'll be a tight competition, probably in the end between Australia and New Zealand. It often is. The Silver Ferns, will be seeing them later on. But Barbados
Coming out
hoping to do well.
next is Belize.
You see the great circle of athletes making their way around this stadium. They'll be taking their seats. You see those triangular sets of white seats. They'll be sitting there to watch the cultural display after this parade. But for many people, as Steve was saying, this is the heart of the ceremony. This is the celebration of those who are taking part. Belize, formerly British Honduras.